Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ustadh Math. Today we do histograms, lesson 2. The previous lesson we did working out frequency density to work out the y-axis. And to do that we need to have the frequency, which is given in the table over here, the second column. And the class width is taken from the difference in height in the first column. We divide the two in order to find the frequency density. To move on, I'm going to give you a couple of questions to do from that which we did in the first lesson. So what I would like you guys to do is to pause the video for 5 minutes and have a go at these questions to find the frequency density. And the second question talks about plotting histograms. Assuming you have paused the video for 5 minutes and had an attempt at the questions, I'll be going through the answers. So the answers for question 1A and 1B are the following, highlighted in green. So these are the frequency densities, as you can see. For question number 2A and B, I've done the frequency densities. The answers are here, and also the graphs, the histograms are displayed. If you are having trouble with these questions, please go back to lesson 1. It's quite short anyway, and then you can come back to this lesson. Moving forward, we're going to be finding frequency using the histograms. You might be thinking we already have the frequency here, but I'm talking about specific frequency within the x-axis. So let's just start the lesson. I'll explain what we are doing exactly. Again, this is quite simple from what we covered in the first lesson. So find the frequency density. We just want to plot the graph. We find that a frequency divided by the difference in time gives us 0.24, so on and so forth. This is our main graph that we have. That being done, we're going to go to the main question that we're focusing on really today, is the number of easy air pilots who have flown under 50 hours. So before we even go to the question, I haven't even read the question. The table gives information about the hours easy air pilots have spent flying, the hours. Work out the number of easy air pilots who have flown under 50 hours. So on our x-axis we have the time, the number of hours that have been flown by easy air pilots, and on the y-axis we have the frequency density. So we did all of that work in the previous slide, and the reason why I'm going quickly through it because it's something we generally should know. To find the frequency, we have to use the same equation that we used before. So the equation that we are going to be using is this one, the triangle equation. So we have the frequency on top, we have the frequency density written as FD times the class width. That's our equation, our triangle that we can use. Before, we were using the frequency divided by the class width to find out the frequency density, but now we don't have the frequency, and hence we have to do frequency density times the class width. So saying specifically for 50 hours, what we have to do is we have to find where 50 hours is on the x-axis, and we have to work out how much of the bar is covered in terms of area. So we have to find the area of this space shown over here. So we know the height is 0.254 and the width is the length is 50, and we just have to multiply the two numbers with 0.24 times 50, and that gives us 12 pilots. So that means there are 12 pilots that flew under 50 hours. Go to the second question. What are the number of easy air pilots that have flown under 150 hours? And all we do over here is we cover all the area where the bar or any of the bar covers. Let me just take a different pen. And so if we look at our graph over here, 150 hours is anything under here. So we really want to find the area of this bar. We want to find the area of this. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to split these into two different bars. So we can call this shape A and shape B, as you'll see. So that being given, shape A has a difference in hours as 100, and we have the frequency density as 0.24, and shape B has 50 in terms of the difference in hours, and the height of 0.24 frequency density. And all we have to do is work out the area of shape A, which is 0.24 times 100 gives us 24 pilots, and area of shape B is 0.42 times 50 gives us 21 pilots. And all we have to do in the end is just add these two figures to find the total number of pilots, the number of pilots that flew under 150 hours, which is 43 pilots. Now, before we finish our lesson number 2 for histograms, I just want to leave these questions with you guys. So please, again, like I said, the way I want these lessons to be is that I teach you and then you go ahead and do a couple of questions, just like a normal lesson. So these are a bit more in-depth lesson compared to the quick revision lessons. So what I'd like you to do is, inshallah, just pause this video for 5 minutes before it ends and have a go at these questions. And in the next lesson, inshallah, we'll go through the answers. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.